Hello everyone, welcome back to AeroHub and welcome to the series of lectures in aerospace structures. And in this lecture we'll discuss about Needham's method or angle method. In the previous lecture we discussed about buckling of an aircraft wing and also we discussed the criteria to select the stiffness for an aircraft wing or for any airframe sections. We discussed that we'll be using sections like Z section or a hat section we'll be using sections like Z section and hat section as stiffness for airframe sections. Okay, and we are using Needham's method to estimate the crippling stress. Estimate the crippling stress for sections like a hat section, Z section, or you can say a C section. Okay, these are the sections we are using in airframe structures. So we will be finding out something called crippling stress. Okay, so what is the difference between a crippling stress and buckling stress? Okay, we have the term crippling stress, then we have one more term, buckling stress. Okay, we have crippling and buckling. These two terms are different. This crippling stress is for short length structures. These are for short length structures, and this crippling will happen in the web of the section. Okay, it happens at the web of section. Okay, and the buckling will be for long length, for a long length section, long sections we can say, long section, and this is nothing but sideways deflection. Okay, so in general or we can conclude that for section which is very short there will be crippling when comparing to buckling. Okay, that is, if you consider an Z section, when you apply a compressive load, the web will be subjected to certain amount of deformation. Okay, so if I have an I section, if I am applying a compressive load, and the web can deflect in this direction. Okay, at the support. Okay, and this is called crippling, and this is one of the important parameter to design a stiffener, that is to estimate the value of crippling stress. Okay, it is nothing but a stress at which there will be failure for short sections in the web. Okay, now to estimate the crippling stress we have two methods. First method is Needham's method or angle method, and second method is Derard's method. As the name suggests, for example, I have to find out the crippling stress for a Z section here. So I have to divide the sections into number of angle section, that is an L section. So in this case I can divide the section into two L sections, that is section 1, this is an L section, and this is section number 2. Okay, so you got two L sections here, section 1 and section 2. Then we have to find out the crippling load for section 1 as well as section 2. Then we have to add the value of crippling load. Then we have to divide the load by the area of the entire section to find out the crippling stress. We have the general formula for Needham's method. This method is found out by experimental result. You have the section here, you can see the dimensions is A and B in this side, A for longer side, B for shorter side, and we have a thickness of small letter t. FCS by root of FCY into E is equal to CE, which is a constant, into B dash by T power 0.75. This is a formula and I'll put as equation number 1. Okay, this is a formula to find out the value of crippling stress for a angle section, not for the entire section, for an angle section. Okay, you can see this figure. This figure is like also an angle section. FCS is nothing but the crippling stress. FCY is the compressive yield stress. E is the Young's modulus. CE is called end fixity coefficient, that's a constant, and the value of CE depends upon the degree of edge support. For example, if the value of if we have two edge free, the value of CE is 0.316. If we have one edge free, the value of CE is 0.342, and if we have no edge support, no edge free, the value of CE is 0.36. For example, 0.366. For example, for this Z section, we have two sections here, section 1 and section 2. Here, this edge is free. That is one edge free. So we have to use the option. We have to use the value 0.342 for the value of the end fixity coefficient. Okay. If I consider this hat section, I can divide into 1, 2, 3, 4. So section 1, section 2, section 3 and section 4. Okay, we will do the problem. For section 1 and section 4, the value of CE will be one edge free, that is 0.342. For section 2 and section 3, the value of CE will be 0.366 since that is no edge free. Okay, so the crippling stress for the entire section is found out by summation of crippling load for the individual section. That is, we have to find out the crippling load for the section. For example, for Z section, I have to find out the crippling load for section 1. Then I have to add the crippling load for section 2. Then I have to divide with the entire area of the section to find out the value of crippling stress for the entire section. Okay. And we have two types of sections used in the airframe. They are extruded section and formed section. We have two types of sections used in airframe structures. That is, one is extruded section, second one is formed section. You can see in the figure, we have slight modification for extruded section and formed section. And we have the term in the FCS by root of FCY into E, sorry for that, FCS by root of FCY into E is equal to CE into B dash by T, the whole power 0.75. This is the formula. Here B dash by T is nothing but B dash by T is equal to A plus B divided by 2 times the thickness. Okay, this also is given in the previous formula. Okay, now for extruded section we can easily find out the value of A and B. Okay, it is already given in the section. A and B can be easily found out. But in the case of formed section, you have to use the center line properties. For formed sections, we have to use center line property. Okay, that means, for example, I have this one section here, and this length is 5, it's already given, and this length is also 5. Okay, and the thickness is, I'll write as 0.5. Okay, the thickness is 0.5 here. Okay, for the entire beam or entire section. So we have to take care of center line property. So this is your A dimension and this one is B. Okay, so the value of A will be 5 minus, because we have to, the value of A is from this point to this point, this end. Okay, not up to this end. Okay, so the value of A will be 5 minus 0.5 divided by 2. Okay, similarly the value of B also same, 5 minus 0.5 divided by 2. Because we are avoiding this much length. This length we are avoiding. Okay, so when you do the problem you will understand. Basically we will be using formed section. These calculations are very simple, and if you are aware to find out the central line property, you will be easily finding out the value of crippling stress. And the requirement for central line property is nothing but whenever we have a fillet section, we have fillet here on the one side as well as the other side. On the both side we have fillet at the corner. Okay, so this fillet can increase the shear stress. Therefore, for our design criteria, we should consider the axial load or your compressive or bending stress. That's why we are finding out the central line property where the corners are sharp. Okay, so at the corners of the section, the shear stress will be increasing. That's why we are using the central line property to reduce the effect of shear stress. Okay, so to find out the value of A and B, we have to the total length minus the thickness by 2. Okay, that is the method to find out the value of A and B. Okay, so that's all about this lecture. We will see a problem in the next lecture, and we will get a more idea about how to use Needham's method to calculate the value of shear stress, not to calculate the value of crippling stress, not shear stress, for a real-time aircraft section. Okay, thank you for listening. Take care.